Let's do a seated, relaxed discussion.
All right, guys. What is up? We're here in Ohio.
Wait a minute. This bench is up. You're not that much taller.
I know.
You're not that much taller than me. That's right. I'm used to being a short guy, man.
Going for the upper angle here. So we're here in Ohio at American Barbell. I'm here with John Meadows, who I don't think needs any introduction. He just ran us through a hell of a leg workout today, so appreciate that. We did a more athletic kind of hybrid back workout yesterday, and what I wanted to talk to John about today was just his, I'll say, basic hypertrophy principles. So 3 basic hypertrophy principles, but what you'd want someone to focus on first before they start thinking about all the other details of training. So I think we see this a lot in our gym at the Lion's Den, where people kind of be overthinking certain principles of their training, really focusing in on the minutia, but they don't have their kind of basics covered. So if someone came to you with a goal of, look, I want to build some muscle, I want to get jacked, what are the 3 things you'd want them to nail down first with their training, or just tips that you give them?
I think the first thing that comes to mind for me is, first of all, I got to kind of look at what level they're at. So the way I would answer that for a beginner versus someone who's advanced would probably be a different answer.
Yeah.
So if it was a beginner, it would be more around learning actual form and execution of exercises.
Gotcha.
When you're a beginner, there's no real need to do this heavy duty, crazy intensity, drop sets, all this crazy stuff. You don't really need to do that. What you need to do is just learn how to do an exercise with proper form. And proper form doesn't just mean how it looks, it means how it feels.
Okay.
So where are you feeling it? You know, a lot of people say, well, you're a beginner, you shouldn't even do isolation exercises. I 100% disagree with that, because as a beginner, you want to learn how to feel muscles work. And what better way to do that than an isolation exercise? So I think a combination of executing compound movements and isolation exercises, I'd probably have it be something like 60% compound movements, 40% isolation movements. So they learn how to make the muscles work in unison, like on a press, but then also learn how to feel, and like a good example is your back. A lot of people can't really feel their back when they train. So trying to isolate it somewhat, I think is a good idea, so they can at least feel it working. Because at the end of the day, if you talk about growing muscle tissue, it is achieved through mechanical tension. And if you can direct the stress, the mechanical tension to where you want it to go, then you're going to have better results. Now, then what happens as you progress? So tip number 1, I would say let's think about a beginner. It's execution, learning how to feel the muscles contract, and its form. So I guess that's 2 things. Proper form and really learning how to feel contractions. Then as you get into this intermediate phase, you continue to build upon those basic principles, but now you start to train a little bit harder. So now the effort starts to come into play. So now you're looking at, when you're a beginner, you can get stronger and stronger just because your nervous system is learning how to activate those muscle fibers which produce force. And as an intermediate, that continues to happen too. So you continue to develop better mind-muscle connection, you continue to get stronger, you continue to add more weight to the bar, more reps, you continue to work on your form, but now you can start to train a little bit harder. So now maybe what I'm going to do is I'm maybe going to increase my volume and intensity a little bit. So, maybe now instead of doing 8 sets for a body part for the week, or I'm just making numbers up. Now maybe I have 20%. Maybe now you do 10 sets, and maybe one of those sets now becomes more challenging. So you start to learn to push yourself a little bit. Then once you're in that phase for a couple years, and unfortunately you can't get stronger every single workout you do. It's a disappointing thing for me to see people in the industry talk about, well, it's all progressive overload. But if it was just progressive overload and it was that easy to get stronger at a workout, we'd all bench 1,000 pounds. But that's not how it works. So then you go back to the basic principles of what makes muscles grow. It's mechanical tension. Does the muscle feel a lot of mechanical tension? Does it have to work hard, and the muscle fibers have to be exhausted? So then you start getting to this 3rd stage, which is the advanced stage. Now you pretty much got your form down, although you can always get better at your form, but you pretty much got it nailed down. Now you've got a pretty good mind-to-muscle connection. You've been training for years now. Okay, I know how to feel my biceps. It's not, I get messages from people, I can't feel my biceps. You get to this phase, you might have a muscle group or 2 that's maybe a little bit more stubborn, but generally speaking, now you're mastering movements. Now it becomes more of what's in here.
Yeah. Okay.
How can you push yourself? If you don't push yourself, if you're scared to go all out, you will stay in that intermediate phase forever. But to get to your ultimate potential, now in this advanced phase, now you got to learn how to push yourself really hard. You know, now it starts to be, man, this is really burning, but I got to find a way to get 5 more reps. Right? Man, this is hard. I really want to rack the bar right now. Versus, I'm going to find a way to get 2 more reps.
Yep.
So you may not be able to get stronger every workout, but you can push yourself, and that's what drives the muscle stimulus. That's why you see, you know, guys that are much, much bigger, but maybe they haven't gotten that much stronger toward the end of their career. But they continue to gain muscle because they understand muscle tension, they understand that. And that's what drives growth. So, yeah, so anyway, so you got this. So the last tip would be, I don't know how many tips we're up to now. We'll recapture it.
Bonus tips.
We'll recapture it. So you got this beginning stage, form and mind-muscle connection. Then you got this intermediate stage. Now you're going to start to master a little bit more effort. And now you got this advanced stage, so I guess this would be a 4th thing. Now you really up the ante on the effort and on the intensity. You know, those things you wouldn't do for a beginner. But now you're past all that. Now it's time to take it to another level. So now you have to start adding in a lot of intensity. And then I guess anytime I say that, I always have to add a caveat. Now you have to have a hyper focus on recovery too. Because now you're stressing the body in ways that it probably hasn't been stressed because you continue to try to go harder. So now you also have to have this massive focus on recovery. So I'm going to push hard, but how am I going to recover from it? Because you got to be able to recover from it, or you just dig yourself into a hole you can't get out of. So I guess that's 2, 3, 4. I guess that's 5 tips. So we have 5 tips anyway. So that would be my basics.
Right on. That was excellent. It was way more than I was expecting there. So thank you so much, John. I think we'll wrap it up there. Basic principles done consistently over time, guys. That's where you're going to see all of your progress. Then you can start to worry about your minutia. As he was just explaining there, he kind of gave you that natural progress to ramp yourself up. But if you're just starting off, kind of worrying about all these small little details just gets in the way of your training. So focus on those basics first, have those down pat, and then build yourself up over time. John, thank you so much, bro.
Yes, sir. My pleasure.
Later, guys.